Now let's get rid of this thing. Oh no, wait! Ah! God! Please. No. Wait. I didn't plan this. Can we stop this? Engine! Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic and welcome back to this beautiful view of our expedition vehicle. Now, if you do remember, we did actually come back with even more cotton in the last episode after getting this thing all set up with a nice and fancy tilting bed and still kind of lacking a bit of that cotton for a proper driver's seat. And, well, didn't quite get to actually do something with it, but I did spend a lot of time in between episodes actually grinding out some materials so that we can spend a lot of this episode on building away happily and making this thing even better than before, hopefully. So, if you can see right here in my inventory, I do have a lot of tier 2 metal. I actually, I think I made like 4 or 5 mining trips. I do have a bunch of crude oil in here, and that is because I have gone diving a bit and actually gotten ourselves a good bunch of gas for this thing, so we will be supplied right there for a good while. And I've actually also already started making another thing, which is our fancy new driver's seat right here. So that is ready then. The thing that is not ready yet though is the spare bed that I wanted to make, so that's definitely something to take care of. And what I would also like to make is another chest, because I do have an idea of where I would want to place another one. So I did leave myself a bit of tier 1 metal here intentionally so we can proceed on that. And that's in the queue. And with that said, let's go ahead and get ourselves over here to our fancy vehicle and actually make a few adjustments. So the first thing that I would actually like to take care of is closing this bed off a bit better. And I actually moved this switch over here, and obviously it's in totally the wrong spot, so let's go and change that positioning again, and I'm going to attach it to the controller out here again. So that said, I will actually have to remove a block right here so that we can tilt the whole construction properly then. And same thing over here, 2 blocks will have to go, but I will need to actually place one below this. I'm not quite sure why we're missing. Wait, is this chest open right here? That shouldn't be that way, should it? Confusing. Very confusing indeed. I'm not quite sure why I decided to leave that open, but let me just close that off on both sides. No need at all to have a gaping hole in there. And this should, in theory, then work? Oh, actually, is this going to work with, like... I'm kind of worried because there's blocks below these blocks as well that are not attached to the actual tilting mechanism but to the car itself, so I'm kind of worried that may end up bugging some things out for us, but you know, I suppose we can give it a try for science, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you know, probably something we will need to address. That said, what did I do for construction over here? Nothing at all, it seems. Okay, I mean, whoa. As always, I'm really sorry, guys. As always, something has to be unmuted, and something has to be ringing around in these recordings. That said, let's try this out. Does seem like we're not getting any bugginess. Even though it is slightly glitching into the metal, it seems to be tilting away nicely, and the whole mechanism does seem to be holding up pretty decently. Other than that, I should be able to actually extend this stuff outwards then to kind of provide some more on top cover for these chests. And yeah, with that thing being independent, those hitboxes do not actually seem to interfere, and that does work nicely without any issues so far. Fingers crossed that it'll stay that way, but very happy to see that, so let's just keep doing that then. That's going to be a nice full metal enclosure for the bed. Actually missing a bit down here, which I will need to add on, but other than that, Oh, wait. Ah, right. Okay, so that's where the tank sits in that case. Ah, yeah, okay. In that case, we'll just do it right here, and that's like the bed somewhat nicely enclosed. Okay, so then we do obviously sort of somewhat have this space out here where the tank sits, and it does seem I can just actually... No. Oh, wait, no, I can actually not. Okay, I cannot enclose that. I can enclose this if I wanted to, but I'm not sure that would then make much of any sense if we have a weak spot out there anyways. And this stuff does weigh a lot, so I do certainly not want to crazily overdo it right here. So I'm going to just do it like that for the time being then. I'm going to actually close off the chest from the top so that we are ending up with this like intended design from before. And I'm going to do the actual same thing out here, closing that off. And did I do it this way? I am confused. No, I actually closed it off like totally from the top. Somewhere like that, yeah. Yeah, that looks to be that way. Okay, cool. So, symmetry applied somewhat. We do need, however, to build up right here. And... no hitbox issues. Was kind of scared there for a second. And we're going to just keep going right here. Now, the thing is, we kind of have some space in here, and I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking we can probably cram something into it. I'm just not sure what it would be. So, maybe that remains to be seen. And for the time being, I'm just going to expand this out here a bit. You know, get a proper bumper up to protect us properly. Alright, and that's probably decent enough for a height, and then from that point on out I'm going to be focusing more on designing this actual thing instead of, you know, other weird things. So I'm just going to raise the wall out here a bit for the time being, you know, close this off somewhat, and then like everything else I'm probably going to kind of just leave up to design. Like we would have space for more storage back here, so that's something to take into consideration. What I definitely want to do for the time being though, and I really love that this mechanism works that way. Actually, ooh, I attached that. Whoa! Whoopsie. Sorry. I attached that to the wrong part. I'm kind of wondering what this is as well. That doesn't belong there. Okay, so let's fix that. Let's attach it to this and not the actual tilting bed. Good thing I actually just tried that out. Let's eat a tomato. And by the way, if you check down here, we should have fresh tomatoes. Yes, very nice. I actually worked away at farming a bit as well, and I will have to work away more at it. But yeah, so I have put some effort into that, because for our next expedition, whenever that may be, I would like to actually stack up a good stash of vegetables and like. So definitely something to put a bit more work into ahead of our next expedition. That said, I do have a bunch of water down here, and I've actually managed, while I was not recording unfortunately, to water 3 plants at the same time somehow. I don't quite know how. Like, the only thing that I've gotten so far is that you kind of want to aim in between these 2 lines to try and water multiple. Yeah! Look at that! Just managed to do it again. Absolutely mad. But yeah, so I'm not quite able to do it consistently, I'll have to say. So that's a bit of an issue. But yeah. See, that's where I fail. Now I have 1 plant that's not watered. But yeah, so very, very interesting that is possible, actually. And issue. Ooh. Is that not working anymore now because I did something wrong or something? Okay, so it's opening properly, but is it actually then colliding or something here? Because I just made a change right here. Is that what is blocking it? Oh yeah, of course it is. Whoops. Okay. Let's fix that. So we need to get rid of this block and that one. Same thing over here. Is it? Oh, I actually didn't do the same construction on both ends, and this shouldn't be that way. Should it? No, it shouldn't be that way. Oh boy. Okay. A lot of construction errors right here. Good thing I am checking this out right now. I actually thought I had it all corrected, but most certainly a lot of issues still to be found here. So the way that this needs to be working is more like that, right? So that we have this part statically covered. And why is this? Oh. What? Oh. Oh. Does it make much sense to have this tilting off the chests? I wouldn't think so, right? So, actually, it would probably make more sense to have some mechanism... Wait, no, not here. To have some mechanism going like this instead, right? So, you know, it can still somewhat interlock with each other that way with these things reaching into there. But even if I tilt this up, I feel these chests should still very much be protected from the top, because honestly, why not? Why not is probably the question that you should ask yourself there. So let's try this one instead. I hope that I now constructed everything correctly. That seems to be closing nicely. Yes, like a charm. Okay. Okay, very nice. I have to say, I think this mechanism is so sick though, isn't it? I absolutely love this, like the way that it works, the way that I have the bed enclosed here. Oh, I really, really love it. I think it's great. Let me just place these things in here again real quick. We're not going to get any water right now. I just want to, you know, focus on building stuff a bit with you guys. I did make this chest in here, so I'm going to pick that up. And then we can maybe just have a quick look into that. So my idea for the first chest was actually to just place it in here, because obviously this here is a very nicely protected area, right? And I don't really have any other idea what we would put in here, so really don't see a reason not to do it. That said, how big is a large chest actually for a comparison? Okay, that's a lot bigger in every direction. Okay, maybe that's something that we can potentially put in the back or something, right? Let's double check. How much wider is it actually? Can we just measure it in blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide, and 3 in height, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's 4 deep, 3 high, and 5 wide. Let's see. So out here, I've got space 1, 2, 3 high. Okay, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's kind of... If we were to move this thing further back, that would be an option, but that would mean that we wouldn't see the indicator of how much fuel we've got left. And I don't like that, to be honest. I really like having my indicator. So maybe it's fine then. Maybe we can just work with this. What I do think is kind of interesting, by the way, is that this chest would also fit in here. So you could get even more storage space out of this. And I do kind of like that idea. We'll just have to cover it. Maybe just by extending that or something. Interesting option right there. So yeah, I don't really quite know what else I would put in here. So I'm just going to place another chest, even though this thing not being perfectly in line is absolutely driving me insane right now. I mean, you guys know, like, I've got a slight OCD with this kind of symmetry stuff. I can't see this, but honestly, the good part is I can just fold this down and I don't have to look at it ever again. Well, unless I have to access it. But other than that, you know, just a bit more storage space in there. I do very much like that. Other than the little symmetry fact right there. So, next thing on the list would probably be the driver's seat, wouldn't it? And, well, that's going to be a task. Actually, it's not going to be that big a task, is it? What are we connecting this to? Wait, is the tank connected to the driver's seat instead of... No, I just licked that. Okay, so engine and wheels, which we only have 2 wheels right now, but we will actually need to take apart the wheels. And that's even going to be a bigger task this episode. And I am pretty sure that I should have 2 bearings lying around somewhere. But you all should be able... Oh, we have 3. Perfect. But you all should be able to remember that I wanted to make this vehicle with all-wheel steering in the first place. And unfortunately, the scrap chair thingy just really doesn't have the connections to enable me to do that kind of stuff, so I had to stick with a few less bearings for a start. But now what we can actually do is I just pick up this, and I pick up that, and where did I initially actually have? So we're steering the whole thing. I mean, I suppose potentially I could even put it right here. I'm just going to stick with a theme. I could probably just put the steering thing right here below the actual thing. Below the actual suspension instead. But I've already got it going on that way in the other places, so I'm just going to stick with the theme right here. So what we're going to be doing is this is going to be the steering parts. Then we are going to be building this thing all the way back up. Get it back down. Actually, wait, no, this is not high enough, is it? I'm going to need all of these out here. Then we are going to get it around. We're going to get the suspension on there, and we're going to lift the thing a bit, and we are going to put that thing in there. Get another bit of bearing out, and there we go. Okay, so that's one wheel done. Whatever a wheel is, but jeez, I've got some language glitches right now or something. Just the German glitching into the English. Oh boy, really, really sorry for that. That said, let's pick this thing apart in the same way. Real quick, drop that thing, you know, get a few dents into it. Because after all, this is scrap mechanic. Things need to be a bit scrappy, I suppose. I don't know. Just treat things badly overall, but I will be getting all this set up again, just like that. Suspension goes on, this thing goes on the very bottom. Yep, just like that, and then we will need another bearing. We'll get that thing on there, and we'll take that off. Oh. Please tell me that these didn't lose their component kits. Okay, no, they didn't. That would have been very, very, very annoying. That said, we are getting more weight onto the rear axles, by the way, right? It does seem they both have the same levels of stiffness. But I'm sure we can use a bit more eventually. Now you can see these wheels are totally just jiggling about the place. I will hopefully fix that in just a second, though. First things first, though. Let's attach the engine again so we can actually power these. And now let's get rid of this thing. Oh no, wait! Ah! God! Please. No. Wait. I didn't plan this. Can we stop this? Engine! Oh god. Please, I need to get to the engine. I need to get to the, oh my, no, wait. Saved. If this thing would have shot off in some direction, I would have never seen it again. Holy moly. Jeez. That was so scary. I had absolutely no clue, or at least I didn't think that was gonna... Jeez. Okay. On today's episode of Don't Do This to Your Creation and Scrap Mechanic. That's so gonna be the highlight of this episode already. I already know it. Building fails with Spacefish. What the heck? God. And like, this thing's obviously not super accessible or anything, right? So I had to get that thing up while, you know, somehow holding on for dear life, right? God. Jeez. What an experience. I mean, seriously, this thing would have just gone off in some direction. I've got so much fuel in it. I would have literally never seen this thing again. I mean, there's no way to catch up for me, right? So, really, really lucky right there. Definitely watch out when you're doing that to your creation. I'm just going to attach this to the engine now, so you know it is actually controlled and everything. And then we are going to start attaching some of these wheels. Now, first things first, this thing looks pretty sick, I'll have to say. Let's look at the upgrades real quick. Settings. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm not sure how many connections we can do at the moment. Is it only 2? No, we can even do 4 connections at the moment. Huh. I even need the upgrade in that thing. Look at this. Very, very cool. Well, that said, I mean, that's not the optimal way of doing it. I'm going to change the rotation on these things so they rotate inversely. So now when we go left, we go right, we got some steering assist right there. Absolutely awesome. Only issue now, oh yeah, right, I can obviously not drive it if the engine's turned off. I've got no clue where my power was at. I'm just going to get it to up here. Should be about right. God, what an experience. What an experience. But we do have the new seat up and running, and I think that's going to be a very interesting one, because now we've got that four-wheel steering, and I think that could be very, very cool and fancy. Let's try it out. Oh, look at this. I'm literally turning this thing on the spot. Look at the back left wheel. It's literally basically staying where it's at. This thing is so maneuverable now. I love it. God, this is good. This is real good. The only thing is, I feel this added weight. Oh. Okay. I'm not too happy about the straight line thing, though. And my hand is kind of jittery, I suppose. Really not enjoying the ride, it seems. I'm not quite sure. I have to say I'm not quite sure. It's kinda... It seems like it's impacting my straight line stability. Maybe it's also just due to the thingies not being upgraded enough again, the suspension. I'm really not quite sure. What actually happens if I steer it like this? Kind of want to just try, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, as expected. That's obviously not the way to do it. I really just wanted to give it a try anyways. It's actually pretty funky. Okay, let's fix that again. So, I'm not quite sure about the straight line thing here. Now, could be that I'm just missing a bit of weight on the rear axle, because I did put a few more things somewhat further up front. Could also be, I don't know, one way or another, really not too happy with it. So we definitely need to work on this thing a bit more. It does seem, where is it actually? Is it pushing or is it, no, it's okay, so it's more the rear axle, so struggling to get grip on the rear axle, not as much the front one. Which may be due to the fact that I'm now... Okay. Alright. So we will need to work a bit more on that and try and get a bit more weight on the rear axle. And that said, I'm just going to try and initially get a bit of that done by, you know, placing a bit more metal back here. But... I don't know. That's really not ideal. That's really, really not too ideal, I will have to say. But yeah, I mean, we did... I mean, where did we add materials? Wasn't it more like here-ish? Let me have a quick look at the power of the thing as well, maybe. Maybe I just put it a bit too far up for power. Maybe it's a bit too far down. You know, let's check this stuff out. You can also drive it with the bed up. Yeah, this thing is getting real slow now with... Okay, so I mean, this is obviously getting me straight, but that's too slow. So I'm definitely gonna up the power here by a good bunch. I would like to be able to drive with that, but I obviously am not able to get that power on the ground. Okay. Let's limit it a bit more again. I think maybe we're just too far behind with the suspension here, to be honest. This is at least keeping it drivable for the time being, albeit unfortunately not at the speeds that we were used to, which I am kind of bummed out about. But maybe if we put a few more component kits into the suspension on our next expedition, we will be good. Unfortunately, I only got like 4 of them, so it would only be enough for one of the actual suspension, so not quite doable at the moment. But yeah, something that I think we'll just need to push more stuff into. Then we've actually got this canopy thing, And I don't want to get like the whole thing set up, but I would just kind of like to try around with this thing and see if there is a way to actually get this working for us without having this visual bug, right? And I was thinking maybe if I take like a block or two out back here, I can somehow make it work for us. So let's try something along these lines. Oh, see, that's great. I love that. I mean, obviously still needs a bit better design to it, but that's kind of cool. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, so we do need the tilting mechanism for that thing one way or another. What I do want to try out as well, though, real quick, is if I was to put this... Can I actually put this one further down, or is this, like, then limited by the driver's seat? I'm not quite sure what the hitbox on this thing looks like, but obviously having it one further down would look pretty sleek. Does not seem to be working though. Okay, so there is definitely a way of getting that driver's canopy working for us. It just comes with a little, you know, open spot back here, but I think that is honestly pretty fine. And then we could easily put this on some sort of hinge mechanism and, you know, build around the wheel arches and stuff and eventually make this look good somewhat. I am kind of getting worried about this thing becoming very heavy, I will have to say. So, gotta kind of see how I can properly design this without making it too heavy. Not really too worried about the engine, it's more like getting the actual power on the ground at the same time. So, definitely something to think about right there. But that said, let's go and get dehydrated for a second here. I'm gonna just quickly eat a tomato too before we get super annoyed by that. But yeah, so definitely, I don't know, definitely still a lot to optimize right there. I'm really happy with this hinge mechanism that we have going right here, and I would actually like to get that going for a perspective canopy. So I think that is something that we will definitely get going soon, and then well, we will just have to balance this a bit more and find more component kits, definitely, to upgrade the suspension. Because looking at this, I feel like it's already compressed a good bunch again. At least a slight bunch. I feel it's not at the usual extension, because if you see, I think the usual extension would be this orange part being aligned with this bearing more or less. So I do feel we can use some upgrades right there, and I hope that that will help us out. But that said, that was kind of it for this build episode. The time is already coming to an end here, so I do hope that you all very much enjoyed our advancements right here. I think this thing is very much starting to come together in like its shape, like except the design and except for a few upgrades that we still very much need to make. I'm very happy about that overall, and then once that is done, maybe we can focus on some more exploration and actually finding ourselves a place to stay forever. So that is something to take care of in the future though. For the time being, I'm gonna end the episode here. I do hope that you all very much enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always very much help out the channel. And if you're new around here and did enjoy this episode and would like to stay around for more of my content, also definitely make sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell icon right next to it to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. That said, as always, I would like to thank you all very much for watching. I hope you will all have a great weekend, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.